Hey guys, it's been a while. Again. But that's the kind of fun and excitement that I want out of this channel. You'll never know what kind of video I'm going to make, or even when, or let's be honest, if it'll ever be uploaded. But in all seriousness, I thought for this video it would be fun to go back and look at something that I really enjoy doing, which is covering games and or topics that aren't covered that much. In fact, I might turn this into a running series of sorts. For this video, I wanted to cover some really promising demos of games that really capture that retro feel, so I hope you enjoy. If you haven't figured out yet, I love boomer shooters. This interest of mine unknowingly started with Doom 2016, and then Quake, and then I fully realized my love for the genre with the release of Dusk, and it's been going strong ever since. And I do have to say that I think that this game stands up there with games such as Dusk, Doom Eternal, Ultra Kill, a Medieval, and so on and so forth. It's really good, even in its early access demo state. It has my oh so loved air control, which instantly elevates the movement mechanics of the game to the highest level in my opinion. The guns are all amazing, but with the caveat that you pretty much only use the alternative fire modes with the right click with each gun. So there is not as much variety as you really think, because the primary fire modes I found, other than for the submachine guns, are pretty much useless. But all of these alternative fire modes are very strong, and most of them have the trade-off of having longer charge up times instead of being able to fire instantly like with the normal fire mode. And let's not forget about the fact that your leg is a freaking chainsaw, which is lovely. You can crouch slide, which puts your chainsaw in front of you, and this can output some massive damage and is particularly effective against the melee enemies that conveniently line up for you. One final thing that I'm kind of on the fence about is the fact that there are upgrades in this game. And now that's entirely a me thing, because with games like this, I just like to shoot and not really think about a lot of stuff like that. But the upgrade system does actually seem to be pretty robust and straightforward. For instance, one of the abilities that was available and that I used during the demo was that if you stay in the air for a certain amount of time, whenever you touch the ground again, you'll create an explosion around you. It's pretty straightforward as far as I can tell, so in terms of my opinion of just wanting to keep games like these pretty simple, that appeals to me. But for those of you that do want to see upgrades and whatnot to kind of make this game distinct, then that's there for you as well, for you to actually make a more in-depth experience for you. But otherwise, I really don't have much to say about this game other than that it's fantastic and it still pays good homage to the genre while still making fun and worthwhile changes to the formula, and most importantly, the gameplay is fantastic. I absolutely cannot wait for the full release of this game. It's going to be great. I do want to preface by saying that Cultic is a really good game so far, but I do think that I went into it with the wrong expectations, and that's completely my fault. I saw enemy cultists in robes and hoods, and I instantly thought of Blood, which is one of the greatest build engine games of all time. And to be honest, this game is still very impressive despite me initially comparing it to Blood. And that says a lot, since it's, in my opinion, one of the best shooters of its time. Now, to be honest, after I played the initial level that's in the demo, I was a little bit disappointed because it was very short and not much in terms of enemy variety. But then I kind of realized to myself that this is just the first level of the game, or at least I'm assuming that it's just the first level of the game. And then I played the survival mode, and that, in my opinion, is probably a much better representation of the full game in its final release, because there are many more enemies that have really cool designs, including this one that just floats in the air and damages you over time while you're within eyesight. The weapon design of the game is still pretty straightforward when compared to Blood. I mean, there's not the dual-wielded machine guns, there's not the Tesla cannon, there's not the flare gun that lights enemies on fire, although you can still light enemies on fire and they have a similar animation, but that's only with objects that you can interact with in the world, not an actual weapon that you shoot. Still, I think the weapons are pretty good, and I think that the level design is also pretty good in the initial campaign level that's in the demo, because there's a lot of interconnecting paths and secrets, and I do really enjoy that whenever games like this, like Dusk or Cultic, or games in this genre, do hide some of the best guns in the game early on in the campaign. If you're willing to find them, then you have them and they're a great tool. If you feel like that's a little bit cheap, then just don't pick them up. That's your problem solved. But yeah, I really did enjoy this game. Again, I do encourage you to understand that the level that you're playing in the demo, the campaign level, it is most likely, I'm assuming, is the initial campaign level, the first level of the game. But the survival mode is much more fun, and I believe that it has a better representation of the final game.
And now for something completely different.
Alright, let's change things up a little bit with Gloomwood. Have you ever heard of Thief? You know, the genre-defining old-school stealth game that's objectively still one of the best stealth games ever made? Well, this game seeks to pay homage to it, and I think it does a really good job. And I've only played the one level that's in the demo, and I'm really impressed with it. Okay, so on the gameplay standpoint, it doesn't really do much to separate itself from its inspiration. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the things that Thief did really well is still somehow unique after all these years. I kind of feel like it's one of those things that's harder to describe in words than it is to actually feel through the gameplay, but just trust me whenever I say that Gloomwood and Thief are extremely unique to the stealth genre and in gaming in general. It also has some minor horror elements that Thief really made unique to the franchise and the genre in general, and so far in the one level that I played in the demo, Gloomwood does a good job of that too. And honestly, that's all I really have to say about this game so far. I don't really think that there's any genre-defining things going on in here because it's really close to Thief in terms of its gameplay, but like I said, I still think that's a unique thing to do in modern times.
Inside at last, are ya? Welcome.
And I think that's all I have to say in terms of this video. Let me know what you think of this style of video. Do you like me covering multiple lesser known games in the space? Or would you rather me do a much longer full style review like I have been doing in the past on much bigger games? Or would you just like a little bit of both? In reality, I'm probably just gonna do a little bit of both, so I don't know why I'm asking, but it does kind of help to see some feedback to kind of know what I should be focusing on more. But I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of these games. If you have some other games that you think I should look at, then let me know. And until the next video, have a good one.